Stephanie May from the movie Rise. How are you, Stephanie?
I'm extremely well. How about you?
Good. Happy New Year for yourself. What are you working on for 2021?
I have so much on my plate. It is not funny. So much to do and not a little time to do it in. So I'm currently working on a few book projects.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can imagine, that's just taking up just vast amounts of time. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You were in the movie Rise. I saw that on Amazon Prime, and I thought it was a fantastic movie. How did you get involved in that role?
I had a bit of a conversation with Mac Linden. So I had seen a lot of things on social media. He was, putting things out there, creating different events, putting posters and this and that. And I thought that it was absolutely fantastic. I saw the teaser. Yeah, I saw the teaser trailer first.
Mm-hmm.
And I just reached out to him and I just said, look, I am from New South Wales. And I understand that this is going to be in Queensland, but man, like this is really fantastic. You see, I really don't mean to be mean, but you see some independent things, and you can tell why they're independent. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be mean, but you can tell that the budget was about $100, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. So when I saw Mac's film, the teaser trailer, I thought it was just top notch, and I had to reach out. And you know what? I think the fact that I believed in the movie a lot, that really helped me sort of score a role with Mac's film. It was fantastic. It was so good.
Mm-hmm. What was the hardest part about being an actor for an independent film?
I think trying to fit in with everybody else, because even on that movie, we had Martin Sachs, and he's a great guy. He has done so much Australian television. It's crazy. So I think when you're sort of, consider yourself a novice and you go on set and you have all these people who are veteran actors, it can kind of get intimidating. So I think that's like, you sort of have to rise above everything else. But that is definitely, that is definitely a sticky spot with me. I sort of feel, I don't know, a little bit insecure, Obviously, I haven't been around for as long as some people have. That's something that I've noticed working on independent films. Yeah, for sure.
And is your dream to one day go into Hollywood and be on a big film one day, or where do you see yourself going as an actor for 2021?
I would just like to do more interesting and inspiring roles. I sort of don't want to keep doing the same type of roles and be typecast as either the, dumb blonde or the office secretary or something like that. You know what I mean? I really want to broaden my horizons. I have actually been to America, and I have filmed something over there. It was in North Carolina. It was called Blue Mountain State. I tell you what, that experience was just insane. Like I think their total budget for the catering department was probably more than an entire budget for an Australian independent film. Like, it was crazy. We had our own trailers. There were people driving around the car park calling out actors' names, wanting photographs, because this was actually a TV series over there, Blue Mountain State, for I think about 3 years. And then they decided to turn it into a movie. So there was so much hype surrounding it. And you know what? I've never felt that sort of same sense on a set since. It's hard. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to go back to something that's, I'm not going to lie. And again, I'm not trying to sound mean, but I have worked on a lot of shoddy productions, and it's nothing to do with the budget, because I do also believe you can create fantastic content with a low budget, but it's just the way that people go about it. It's the way that they treat it. You know what I mean? As just another low budget, oh, who cares? We didn't get a perfect take, but that's fine. Let's just move on. Daylight's burning, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? I have definitely been on a few of those films. So if I could go back to America again, I mean, I know with COVID and everything, who knows what's going to happen, but I'll never forget that experience. It was fantastic. So I would love to go back.
When you were on the movie Rise, did you get your own luxury of a trailer or catering, or how did you have to look after yourself?
Well, actually, they put us up together in, I believe, I believe it was Mac Linden's in-laws' house. So we actually did, and when I say we, it was because there were a few other people that were being flown up. Other people sort of had the same sense as me, where they just saw this fantastic teaser trailer and reached out to Mac and said, you know, hey, look, I know I'm in New South Wales, but you have something so fantastic here. It looks so top notch. Do you have maybe a one-liner or a two-liner? And Mac, being the lovely guy that he is, said, yep, no worries. So those who flew in from New South Wales, we got picked up at the airport and we got taken to a house and we stayed there for a few days, which was really lovely. Obviously, we had food and everything taken care of. We didn't have to spend a dime when we were there. And then, of course, when we wrapped up a couple of days later, we got taken to the airport and flown back to Sydney. So we were well taken care of in a very big house. I believe it was his in-laws. Yeah, his in-laws' house. They had gone away or something. Yeah. So it was great.
When you've been on an actor and on a set, do you have to cover all your travel expenses and your hotels? And because I've never been an actor, Stephanie, I'm a musician. So
awesome.
Be a bit similar ways if you're not on a big production budget, but have you had to look after yourself?
Many times. Yeah, you do get fortunate with some productions. Like there was another time where I was flown to Gladstone, Queensland for another Australian feature film called Broke, and they took care of everything again. But mainly when you are dealing with independent projects, yes, you definitely have to pay for your way there. And I live out in the western suburbs. So when you're talking about filming, it is mainly based in the city. So it is a constant travel for me. Not that I care, because I do like driving, but typically, yes, you cover your own petrol costs. And, you know, sometimes, again, that's what I mean by about the stigma around low budget. Sometimes there might even be just a couple of sandwiches between, you know, crew and cast of about, you know, 50 people or something like that. It has been a bit rough sometimes. So, yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Really depends on the budget. And then, of course, sometimes I've been on, I'm not going to say which one, but I do remember specifically working on an independent film, and it was sort of everybody chipping in money, and then we all got stuff like crackers and cheese and stuff, and we had a bit of a, you know, little bit of a mini buffet, but where we had all chipped in money. So, yeah.
No, wow. I'm from the western suburbs too, as well.
Oh,
I'm very familiar to Sydney. No, yeah, I suppose when you're starting out, see, I'm in the process as a composer, film composer, looking for an agent myself.
Oh, okay.
What's been your experience of getting an agent and getting into paid work?
To be completely honest, I have had a good of luck. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have tried for the really, really big guys. I haven't necessarily been fortunate, but in saying that, with the agents that I have had, I have secured jobs. I have secured work, and there was a time where I used to get a lot of auditions, actually. So I will admit I have stepped back a little bit from that to focus on my writing, but yeah, I mean, obviously when you have all those things behind you, it is better. So, I mean, you know, to have a resume that has a lot of great stuff on there, have to have a show reel, obviously a professional headshot, all of that kind of stuff is going to help you. But realistically, there shouldn't be too much trouble in people trying to find an agent for acting, especially extras work, extras work. I mean, anybody can become an extra. There's no problem about that. And that's how you work your way up, sort of thing as well. There was a feature film that I was involved in called Panic at Rock Island. And there were hundreds of extras. I mean, hundreds, because we were doing a concert day. So, I mean, everywhere you looked, there were just extras wandering around. And I actually got bumped up a role to become a featured extra. So I made I don't know why, but the director, Tony Tills, he picked me out and he said, you come up the front. So I made my way through everybody and everyone's, staring at me. And I got upgraded. So I got fully featured in the film. No speaking part, but that's what a featured extra is. So not actual speaking, but shown. Definitely, it's me. My name's in the credits. You get paid extra, of course, as well if you get upgraded, and that's how you do it. You never know. I've heard of stories about people being an extra. Next minute, they've got a speaking role beside the, main actor or whatever. It does happen. So you just have to work your way up. I don't know too much about music composing, though. I'm going to be honest with you, but for acting, getting agents. As long as you have those things behind you, you should be right. You should be good to go.
Yeah, it's a bit similar with the orchestral world because you might start off playing second clarinet and then move to first if the first chair leaves as well. So it's a bit of a hierarchy. Now,
yeah.
I majored in clarinet in my bachelor's degree, but then I got fed up of playing Mozart all the time, so I decided to go down my own path and start writing my own work. So 2020, last year, I published the first album, Death and Life, on Spotify. I mainly write for film.
Yeah.
Where I see myself going. But it is very similar with music as well. Who gets the gigs, who doesn't. Because I think eventually you need an agent one day.
Yeah. Well, look, there are always independent films that are happening, even if they're just student films. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I did with acting as well. I started off working on student films, those who were in, film school and they needed people. I definitely started off there. Fast forward a few years later, I'm flying over to America to star in a film. Like it just, I would say, work your way up, honestly. I also know a few people who are in the midst doing independent films, so I will keep an ear out if they do need music composers, and then I can obviously point them in your direction.
When you've traveled to America, it's a silly question. Did you have to cover the costs of all that yourself, or the film production do it? Because I've never been an actor, Stephanie.
Yeah. No, this one was all covered. This one was all covered, including the accommodation. I actually took my mother with me. She obviously had to sort of, pay her own way. The production company wasn't going to, fork out for her, which is fair enough. But they covered everything. They covered everything, and we stayed in this incredible motel near the. We were filming at a restaurant. So they even timed that as well. They knew that we were going to be filming here on this day, and then they got us accommodation here, and they covered all of that. She was even allowed to come on set too, which was really cool. She got to meet all of the actors and even the director, and it was an incredible experience. Like I said, when you go through that, you want it more and more and more. So it was fantastic. But yeah, they covered everything, which is good.
If you had a dream to work with one famous actor, who would it be, Stephanie?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp? Yep.
I know there is a lot of controversy surrounding him right now, but let's be completely honest. Pirates of the Caribbean is going to be nothing without Johnny Depp. And just for the record, I really don't believe the allegations. I think let's just forget about all of his personal dramas at the moment. I think he is such a fantastic character actor. I think that I could learn so much working alongside of him. He's an inspiration. He is definitely an inspiration. Can so easily adapt to different characters. It's incredible. He has so much talent, and I just can't believe he hasn't won, best actor for this at the Oscars and whatever. He's fantastic. Actually, can I ask you that question? If you could act, who would you choose?
If I could act, who would I choose? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, awesome. That is so cool. That is so cool.
I like going to the gym, and I do like watching Pumping Iron was a good movie.
Oh, yes.
Terminator as well. So
what about
what's that?
Predator?
Yes, Predator as well. And Sylvester Stallone, because Rambo was a good movie as well.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I love the message behind Rambo. I really, really do. I absolutely love the message behind Rambo. Never give up. Life is tough.
Mm.
It's great. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone, he'd be a good one. I think he'd be a bit of a character to have on set. I think he'd be having lots of laughs. But Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's a good one. I would like to meet him one day.
And if I could write any song with a composer, Hans Zimmer, number one, would be someone I would collaborate with to write a film score.
That's awesome. I really wish you the best of luck. I haven't met too many musical composers in my time, so I don't really know how competitive it is. I'm kind of guessing it would sort of be similar along the same lines as acting.
It can be very opinionated, especially doing a music degree, because there's more than one answer to the same question.
Yeah.
Some people might say, "Oh, Stephen, you've got to change your sound," or something's not right in that area. Like I was actually I had to remaster one track 3 times this week because I had a very good mix and I tried to do too much with it, and then I just got to keep it simple.
Yeah, sometimes that's the best way, but you know what? Dance to your own beat. That's what I say. If you know that it works for you, if you love it, then just keep on going. There's going to be somebody out there who loves your sound and who will want to work with you. So keep at it. Keep at it.
And there's a few shows that I've watched on Netflix. There was the El Chapo series, and I watched Sons of Anarchy as well.
Yes.
Game of Thrones. Those all are following a story, but you get characters that are dying off in certain seasons, but then boom, it just finishes like that at the end of the season. You're wondering what's going to happen next.
Yes.
Do you see yourself playing in roles like that one day?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't watched anything that you just mentioned, but I have watched Vikings, and one of my friends recently has started it. Actually, he's on season 2, and he's seen both. He's seen Vikings and Game of Thrones, and he says that there are definitely similarities. So I'm going to speak on behalf of Vikings, which I thought was absolutely fantastic, something that I didn't think I was going to like, and I ended up loving. And you know what? Yes, my answer is yes. I don't know if you are familiar with Vikings, but I would love to have played Lagertha in Vikings, to go on set every day and work in that environment with the set, the cast and the crew, the lovable characters. It's exactly as you said, people dying, you don't know who's going to survive. I would, that would be a dream come true. That would be a dream come true. Yeah, doing something like Lagertha in a series, that would be fantastic, yes.
No, that's amazing, Stephanie. And what about? Do you have a uni degree in acting, or did you go to an acting school?
Yeah, so I went to a lot. I did not go to a 3-year course because there are so many different methods out there when it comes to acting. I know a lot of people talk about method acting and things like that, but really there are so many ways in which people can sort of learn how to become better actors. And I didn't want to sort of stick to the one process in case I was wrong. Do you know what I mean? In case it really didn't work for me. You have method acting, and then I know of, I think he's a German teacher, and he teaches his students how to, he says that all of our organs sort of retain memories. So when you want to evoke something, you just go to certain sections of your body and bring out these emotions. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. There are so many different ways. So instead, what I did was I was a fan of doing weekend courses. I was a fan of doing nightly classes, and I was a fan of doing maybe, there was one where I think it was like six weeks long, a 6-week long program, things like that. That's what I did a lot. So many different places, so many different teachers and shooters and mentors. So yeah, not one specific thing. And then, of course, I did master classes where you are the observer. So Larry Moss, he is a very famous teacher over in America. He's taught Leonardo DiCaprio, Hilary Swank, and things like that. And he would come out and do these master classes where he would, I think it was maybe 12 students, and he would have them on stage and he would go through his process of how to, draw out emotion and things like that. And you could buy tickets to be in the audience and watch the whole process. And that's what I have also done with quite a few teachers that have been flown over from America. So, I mean, I wouldn't even like to take a venture as to just how many different programs and stuff that I've actually done. I've been taught everywhere, I would dare say. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, because I think it's something that you have to work out what really works for you. I mean, I'm not going to name specific names, but there was one time where I was inquiring about doing, I think it was a 2-year course. And they had this open day where they worked with their students and they sort of showed you the types of things that they would do. And I remember sitting in the audience and I just remember thinking, it doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like this would work for me. So I left it. I did some classes there, but not the 2-year thing. And I was right. Even after the few classes I had there, it just, I don't know, I wasn't drawing on anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there are lots of different techniques, and that's what I wanted to do. Try this one, try that one. Yeah, a lot. So many.
What's been the hardest part of your acting journey?
The rejection. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely gets to you after a while. And like I said, I live out in Penrith, and 99.9% the jobs are in Sydney and the auditions are in Sydney. So there was one point where I was constantly driving back and forth, sometimes in peak hour traffic. Again, I do like driving, but I would spend about 2 hours in the car driving to a place. I would be there maybe 10 minutes and then I would drive and it would be another rejection. I would stay up all night practically learning my lines for a big audition the next day, getting really pumped because I've learnt my lines. I really feel like I'm in the character. You go all the way down there, you get yourself so G'd up, another rejection. Do you know what I mean? That sort of stuff. After a while, constantly, you just think, man, like, is this actually where I'm meant to be? Is this what I'm supposed to do? But I think what helps obviously is if you have passion, if there's that burning desire inside of you that literally won't let you quit. But it does get hard because you do start looking at yourself. Well, I do anyway. I don't sit here and blame other people. I don't blame anybody else for me not being where I am. It's me. Do you know what I mean? So keeping your head up and keeping positive, that can definitely be a challenge. But in saying that, rewards like being flown over to America, it's stuff like that you think, you know what, it's all worth it. And I am going to keep on going.
Mm-hmm. I live in Bringelly, so I'm in a similar situation with you, with travel-wise, where I get the train because I don't like driving into the city.
Yeah.
And I think since COVID-19, I think more auditions are going on Zoom. I think I'd prefer to do an audition on Zoom or Skype instead of commuting all the way down there. Like I had my first ever acting audition last year. I get the script and I'm reading it. I had it back to front.
Oh, no way. Oh, you poor.
And it was just so simple one-liners, and it was just like, oh, no.
I'm breaking for you. Oh, no. Oh, how tragic. I'm so sorry to hear that.
And he goes, oh, yeah, you can do another take. So I did it. I got it right the second time. Yeah, but I've never acted before, Stephanie. So I got that through Star Now. You've heard of Star Now?
I was a member of that for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said, I did take a step back from a lot of that to focus on my book writing. But I have had a few roles in
Mm-hmm.
independent feature films thanks to Star Now. So it's a great platform. It's a great website for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But keep on going, even double. It's all about connectivity. It's all about who you know. So even if you find yourself one day, you know what, yeah, maybe I'll do some extras work. You could be talking and finding out information about, composing while you're on set. It's
Mm.
really, a lot of it is to do with who you know as well.
Mm.
I reckon go for it, even with some acting gigs. Why not? If you
Mm-hmm.
have the time, of course, if you have the time. If you're taking off, paid work days to go and be an extra on a student feature film, then maybe you need to weigh that up. But,
Mm.
especially if you have the time, go for it. And like I
Mm.
said, I will keep my ears out. I will keep
Mm.
my ears out for composing.
Did you ever play a musical instrument?
Yes, the keyboard when I was in school
Mm-hmm.
and the guitar as well. I have a beautiful cherry red guitar that unfortunately I have not played in years.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, yes, I
And
do love music. I have
mm-hmm.
to say, I could sit here and talk to you about music all day long, Stephen, but I don't think you want that.
Well, I like I've seen Dream Theater play live. I've seen Hans Zimmer live.
Beautiful.
Shannon Noll as well.
Yeah,
I've got my dreams to see like Metallica or AC/DC if they're still going.
I
Um,
believe they are, and they are excellent live. Can I just say,
mm.
AC/DC was awesome. I hope you get the chance to see them. Yeah, I really
Well,
do.
I saw Hans Zimmer live in Sydney. He played the Pirates of the Caribbean and the Wonder Woman theme, and Time was the last song. Man, it was so loud, Stephanie. I was sitting all the way up at the back of the arena because he turns everything up, and that was really good.
Did you have a good time? Lots of
Yeah,
good memories.
couldn't sleep.
Yeah. Who did you go with? Who did you take with you?
Myself, you know.
Oh, beautiful,
And
beautiful.
I get on Twitter, I say, wow, that was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Good on you. There's nothing like seeing somebody that you just absolutely adore,
Mm,
that you're such a huge fan of. It's such a rush. It's something that you don't really forget. You know what I mean? If you were dragged along to it, then that's a different story. But no, I hope that you get to see AC/DC. There is
mm,
nothing like being in a stadium and hearing Thunderstruck live. Let me tell
mm.
you, I get chills thinking about it.
If you had one dream place to live, if you were successful, where would you go?
Hmm. That is a really interesting question.
Mm,
In my heart, I am not a city girl.
mm-hmm,
I wouldn't choose a city. Um, I would probably, you know what? I'm thinking maybe the Blue Mountains. I don't need
nice.
anywhere fancy or anything like that. Not even overseas because Australia is my home. All of my friends and my family are here, so I'm not going to say anything like Los Angeles or New York. Um, you know what? I'm a pretty simple person, so
Well,
so
LA and
definitely.
Beverly Hills is like the dream for all the actors to go and live in Beverly Hills.
I know it is. I've heard lots of comments. See, the funny thing is, can't remember if I said it before, but when I went over to America to film, it was actually North Carolina.
Mm,
So it wasn't New York or Los Angeles or, San Diego or anything. It was North Carolina.
mm,
So completely different from somewhere like New York. And you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say the Blue Mountains, somewhere up there where I can overlook the valleys and it's just peace and quiet, surrounded by nature. It does get a little bit chilly there, but you know what? Yeah, let's go with the Blue Mountains. If you could organize that, that'd be great.
mm-hmm. Me, it would be a house facing the beach, probably down in the south coast.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got a few friends that live down there. Whereabouts? Anywhere in particular?
Oh, like Stanwell Park or Wollongong, just a
I
house.
am familiar with Wollongong. One of my bestest friends, he lives in Wollongong, and you know what? That's a good choice actually.
Mm,
Wollongong is beautiful. Even Kiama. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful area.
You know, because I've been to LA, Stephanie. I've been in Beverly Hills. It's just a weird place. You know, you got all the. Yeah. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, the people who I know who have gone there, they haven't enjoyed it.
No.
So what is it? Why do you think that there's so much hype? But when people go there, they're really disappointed. Do you think it is because of the hype and they're expecting something so glamorous and fantastic?
Yeah.
And when they get there, was that your experience?
Yeah, because I went to Hollywood and I found you got all these $1 million mansions, and then 5 minutes down the road you got all homeless people, and you got Beverly Hills where everything's just so overpriced. I think people are paying like $20,000 for a pair of Nike sneakers.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
If they're made in China, I don't know, and I just yeah.
Let's be honest, probably. Probably. But you know what? That is the same sort of thing that I have heard as well. People going there, and it's I think somebody actually used the term dump. It was a bit of a dump, is what they said. But yeah, like I said, I've never actually been there, so not yet. Anyway, there's still time.
But that's just my view of it, Stephanie. Would I live in LA if I made it? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd go to Canada.
Oh, you know what? That again, another place that I haven't been, but I would very, very much love to go to Canada. There was even one point where my roommate and I were planning on going to Canada, but it never panned out, unfortunately. But I reckon that would be beautiful. Hey, so many lovely sceneries over there. Jealous.
Yeah, I'd love to go in the middle of winter. That's when
Would you
go. Yeah, I like winter better.
Do you?
Yep.
You're exactly like my mother. I really struggle, but each to their own, you know. You say that, and then when it comes time for summer, you're complaining about summer, and then when it's winter, it's, you know what I mean? I don't know. Let's go spring. Can we go spring or autumn?
Yeah, autumn would get cold in Calgary. It would.
Yeah.
I once got excited about going all the way to the Northern Territory because I went in the wet season, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. 4.5 hour flight. I'm going to see Australia. It was so hot. Felt like 50 degrees, and I've been out in Lynchfield National Park in the middle of nowhere. Oh my god.
What did you think of the territory though, like of itself?
It's a very interesting place.
It is, isn't it? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The whole central outback Australia, it's fantastic, but I wouldn't go in the wet season though.
My mistake, you know.
You'll know for next time, Stephen, don't worry, you'll know for next time.
I remember drinking a can of beer and it was just all dripping and everything like that.
Who did you go with?
I went on a Top Deck tour.
No way, we went on a Top Deck tour too. That's absolutely crazy. Top Deck was amazing. You didn't have Callum as a guide, did you?
No, I had Shorty Dwyer as a guide.
Okay. We had a guy called Callum. Aussiest bloke you'll ever meet, but it was the best time of our lives. When did you go?
I went February 2019 for about 10 days in the middle of the wet season. I went.
God, now you've got. When did we do? You know what? I can't actually remember. Did you go anywhere else apart from the NT?
Just a bit. Lynchfield, Kakadu National Park as well.
Yes. Nice.
You feel like you're in the middle of nowhere.
You are. It's great, isn't it? I loved it.
Yeah, I remember staying in the actual hotels were really good, but there was no TV or no reception.
Oh wow. See, some people would get absolutely freaked out about that, but I think it's a good chance to reset. You know what I mean? Just get off the electronics, enjoy nature, just reset. I don't know. Were you freaking out?
Not really. I just I needed a week off.
Good, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. There are some people that I know would absolutely just say, no, get me out of here. Everyone needs time.
Stephanie May, it was a great show with you today. Where can people find you on social media? What are you doing as well?
So people can find me, where am I? Let me think. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, although I am not active. I'm on Instagram, and I also have a website as well. So again, as I said, I don't want people to be disappointed, but I have no sort of news regarding films or even TV or anything like that. I have been focusing heavily on my writing. So that's what people can expect from me. If they still want to sort of follow me on that journey as well, then that would be fantastic. But yeah, check it out. Even if you just type in Stephanie May in Google, it should come up with my website and everything like that. And you can find out the latest info.
Sweet.